Good evening.
Good evening.
So you
That
what?
music gets me every time.
You love it, mate, don't you?
I love it.
I tell you. How's the week been? Anyway, before we get into that bit, Mr. Chris Giles, thank you very much for joining us. For those people that don't know, Chris is the managing director at SKS, Selective Koi Sales. Been around in the hobby for about 10 minutes. Don't really know quite a lot. Has probably seen
pretty
more
accurate so
than
far.
he ever really wants to ever see. But we're going to dig into you in a minute or two, Chris. We're just going to do the round robin and a catch up with the normals, and we'll pick up some people in the stream while people start building in. That is. So, how's the week been then, Dave? Any good?
Yeah, pretty busy actually. Yeah, things have obviously the weather's got people out in the gardens, and people are ordering, and people are coming in purchasing fish. So yeah, it's good. I mean, a little bit different from a week ago when we were sweltering in 35 degrees, but yeah, this week's been okay. And I must say, this came crashing through the door, and I mean crashing.
Another got one yet.
Another book. Thanks, Liam. Yeah, so all in all, yeah, a good week.
Lee?
Yeah, again, another busy week. Yeah, just kind of a lot of, I'm basically still prepping for the koi show. I want to try to get there with a bit of a bang. So it's all about administration for me, concurrent activity, ready for the show. So it's not that far away. I mean, you and Dave are a seasoned professionals, so you don't worry about it until 5 minutes before. But I mean, someone like me, there's a lot of stuff to get, for the show. When you've actually got it and it's just stored then for the show and time again. But when it's your first show, there's actually a lot to think about. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure more than you ever imagine, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah, that's what I've been doing basically.
Right, there's something just popped up here. I don't know what this means. Evening all, Crafty. Ask Dave if he's got the GP on next to him. Do we know what that means?
The GP?
Is the MotoGP on?
Oh, that's what he's probably on. The Grand Prix.
No. I've let's have no comments on that because I haven't finished watching. I've got it recorded, so please.
Hamilton's won.
It's not even raced yet, but yeah.
Oh, isn't he? I'm out of the loop.
I won't touch it. I've had a few spoilers all day, Dave. So I've been a bit like, I won't tell you, Alf. But see, Chris is clearly the most intelligent one out of all of us because he knows exactly.
Terribly not. Definitely not.
Chris, how's your week been, my man?
Good, yeah. A bit as Dave said, the weather's brought people out. It's been like flat out from the minute we get in till the minute we leave. Most weekdays now seem like weekend days. They're as busy as weekend days. People flying in, the phone going crazy. Just exactly what you want, really. I'm just quick to moan about stuff like that, but we need to make hay while the sun shines because the season is
very short
and busy in the summer. So no, we're lucky. A lot of people keep turning up and orders keep coming through, and we're doing our thing, trying our best.
It's nothing worse when nothing's going on, isn't it? It's like
I haven't had that for quite a long years. A lot of years.
I'm on about customer base, like when no one's coming through the doors. It's like
wintertime is dreary, isn't it? When you have days where you don't see anyone.
Yeah.
But
unlike us, though, I mean, I've had a busy week, but enough about that. Unlike us, you've got a wholesale business as well as retail, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you in yourself is like 50 times busier than us.
Yeah, juggling everything. You've got little post-it notes stuck everywhere. Ring this person. It's all just trying to keep people happy the whole time. Make sure they got their orders on time. Make sure customers are getting answers. Everything needs an answer. There's a million questions every day, and you have to do your very best to sort them out as quickly as you can. It's like working behind a really busy bar when there's people waving orders at you, and you have to serve the first ones first and try and keep it fair. But yeah, we do our best, and we're lucky with the people that work for us and everybody involved. So yeah, we're lucky, really. Yeah. But yeah, I'll finish the day and I'm shattered. And quite easy to just watch I could quite easily just sit down with a glass of wine and watch Clarkson's Farm.
Oh,
yeah,
new
'cause that's
season's out, isn't it?
Free, isn't it?
That's what I was planning a few weeks ago. But
Well, KD, let's not put that on there.
Oh, it's in your view.
Yeah, there you go. Bloody greasy old plate on the island while people are watching.
the dog's looking hopeful.
Mate, you could have a crumb on that plate and he'd be wanting it. But
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there's going to be quite a few people. So today we're going to be covering quite a few topics, and I want to thank Chris for coming on because a pretty new platform that's been received fairly well. I think we hit around 2,000 views on last week's episode combined. And for those people that haven't yet, whack the like button because we want to put as much exposure out there. And by hitting that like button, it just helps the algorithm on YouTube to push it a little bit further. And also, whoever you're watching, because it's streaming on all 3 platforms now, if you haven't already, put a subscribe on it and a notification bell. So that's all the YouTubey stuff done. But Chris, we want people like you to come back time and time again because there's always new stuff going on. And Chris today has agreed to come on because there's a couple of products that we want to speak about. One being the Kigen koi food, as in, so those people that don't know, I got a lesson off of Chris because I've been pronouncing it wrong. It's actually Kigen, as in Kevin Keegan. There you go, just to prove I read your email.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone remember it's Kigen, and we're gonna deep dive into that a little bit as well. And I've got a little 2 or 3 minute video from the person that's put all this together. What's his name, Chris?
Theo.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Theo in a bit more detail in a while. And then after that, we want to look at a bit of mountain tree. And then, Chris, you've been to China a few times, so I'm going to give you a bit of a shin kick on that as well. And then, and likewise, being a first time guest, this is a conversation rather than an interrogation. So please feel free to ask questions back to us as well and put us under the cosh as much as we will you.
I'll try my best.
And we've got just over 100 people in now, which is perfect. And likewise, audience, we're gonna dissect the food a little bit. But I'm probably going to keep it towards the end of the show to keep everyone hanging on. So think about anything that we're talking about, any questions, put them in. I'll pull some up during the broadcast, and we'll do a bit of a Q&A towards the end, depending on how this flows. And what we've found is, Chris, that the couple of hours that we're broadcasting is never enough time. So, we may be like dragging you back, kicking and screaming at another date to maybe have an update on certain things.
I've never really got involved in anything like this because I generally tend to keep away from the camera and just do my thing. But I don't know. Once
that
I get
familiar,
yeah,
Mate.
yeah. But it's an important thing, and people keep saying, "Oh, why don't you do a video and do a video here?" And as much as you resist it for years, you do have to embrace it at some point.
Absolutely, and
that's what I'm doing now.
But before we get into this, because I want to touch on a few questions for you directly. You throw them back to us if you want, all right? But for those people that don't know you, Chris, number one, how did you first get into or involved in koi keeping? And what was your journey from being a hobbyist to a managing director of a very successful big time business in the koi world that has been trading for many years? And I'll hand over to you and see where you take us on the start of your journey.
Okay, so I've never been a koi hobbyist. I'm a hobbyist dealer now by sort of default because I see so many koi, and you have to love koi to be in this game, so you have to be a hobbyist to some degree anyway. But I didn't start off as a hobbyist. I started off purely just as a job. I was 16 and I'd finished high school, started college. My dad said, "Oh, you're not going to lay around all summer and do nothing like 16-year-olds do. You can go and work for my mate Andrew making cups of tea and sweeping the floor." So that's what I done. Went to SKS and thought, well, this is quite nice, catching fish for people every weekend. And then after a few years, we started the wholesale business as well and became a part of that and helped that grow. And made the catalogue and things, and then 28 years later we're where we are now. We've got 3 big warehouses and the big retail premises. Lots of good staff that are happy, I think, and and that's what we do now. And 3 years ago, Andrew made me a joint director with Andrew and also his business partner Kath, who passed away 5 years ago. Her son David. So the 3 of us are equal partners and owners of the business. So you go to work every day and think, well, I couldn't do anything else because this is all I've ever done. Probably not much good at anything else anyway, so that'll be a waste of time. But I enjoy it, and I think you have to enjoy the business because it's so all-encompassing. It's not a 9 to 5 where you can it's not like working in Sainsbury's where you can turn up, clock in, clock out, forget about it, or you're constantly on the boil with it, as you guys know. You do the same as what we do. You're worrying about whether the fish are all right, are they going to travel okay, everything. But you have to enjoy all of that, which we do, and that's what keeps us going, really. I go into work excited most days about new stuff, new products, meeting new people. I think the people is the biggest, the best thing I find in the whole thing. You meet not just people in England, there's people all over the world, and you're all connected just by koi. You're connected with koi, so it's amazing. You can be in a koi show and meet all the top koi bods from all around the world around one table, and you're all connected by these colourful fish that we're all involved with.
It's quite mental, really. I've never really thought of it like that.
I think the people you meet and the experiences you get are the things I'm lucky that I got involved with. Really, I never set out to be a koi person. I just sort of by default ended up doing what I do and enjoy it and push it a bit more and work a bit harder and keep turning up. And that's it. Yeah.
I don't think there's I don't think people realise how many hours we actually do put in. I mean, I've already done a 10-hour shift before starting this tonight. It's in the background, as you know, Chris. We was testing yesterday and preparation for the show, and that's on top of me looking over 4 businesses. Yeah. So and Dave and Lee are both. I mean, Lee's got now 2 businesses and a young family. Dave's old, so even one business.
He's not that old.
Even one business.
Yeah, but he's got a lovely lady he's got to entertain as well. I know he puts a lot of effort into that.
And I mean that's so true. I mean, Lee, since you've been you do your YouTube, which is a second job anyway.
Yeah.
How many extra hours are you finding it now? You've got that premises open.
Yeah, so mate, I'm up at like 10 to 7. Come down here, observe the fish, do bits and bobs. Then I go to the studio at about 7:30, draw until 10, tattoo until 6. Come back here and observe the fish again and do bits and bobs. And then obviously my days off then are where I graft. So I mean, I don't think Yasmin's actually grasped how little time I'm going to have from now on. But
she knows now because she'll be watching. So
maybe. Yeah. But a lot of effort goes into it.
But I think koi dealers put the effort in because they are dealer hobbyists as well. You have to be passionate about the koi to do it. I think if people start a koi business purely as a money maker, there's a million less stressful ways to make money.
Yeah,
you have to be
and you ain't making a lot of money in koi anyway. That's a myth.
Yeah, people think you can buy one for 50p and sell it for 1,000, don't they? But they forget about
the myth.
The ones that go backwards or die, and all the heating bills and stuff. But you have to make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money, I think, if you pitch your business at the high end customers buying fish for 50,000 and 60,000, and you're making a cut off that, and you could be happy. You could, for 1 or 2 people, you could make a lot of money, but. You only need those high-end customers to pack it in 1 year, and you've lost your business. So it's a more stable business to have a retail premises with, and it's more rewarding, I think, because you've got young couples coming in all the time, starting the hobby. They're the most important. Turning up, buying a few little fish, talking about drum filters, going away impressed with what you've told them, and and more confident in creating a koi pond. They're the most important people for the whole industry, not the top 5% that do all the koi shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we were speaking yesterday, Chris, it's like, you know, having a bricks and mortar shop or even an online store, you know, is having the ability to have a lot of fish at different price points for different parts of the hobby. And yeah, there's nothing better than seeing someone progress into the hobby.
Yeah,
you know, that's where I tend to get my biggest kicks from, if I'm perfectly honest with you. And you know, Dave, you've been around a couple of years now, haven't you? 30, 25 years, 20 years,
2001. So yeah,
25.
Yeah. I think I first met Chris you'll remember this, Chris, when you and your dad were digging that pond at Selective.
probably the big oval pond.
Yeah. So that shows you how many years ago.
Me and my dad and my brother were digging that by hand. Yeah. That was probably 2000, 2001 probably.
Yeah. That's when we first. Yeah. So wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's
changed somewhat, hasn't it, Chris?
Yeah, it has. It's evolved a bit, and good job it has, really. Everything's evolved. The premises has evolved. The way you do things has evolved.
Yeah.
It's just part of business. If nothing evolves in 28 years, then
there's something wrong.
Something wrong in there. But Andrew's been a big part of that. He's very, very proactive with getting
new products.
What are you doing? Go to bed. Bedtime. So Andrew's been super proactive with getting new products, in reinvesting money back into the infrastructure of the business, building new ponds, putting new roadways down, buying forklift trucks, building warehouses. You could easily keep that money and have a brand new Range Rover or something else, couldn't you? He's put a lot of money back into the business and back into us as well. So that's given us a very, very good foundation to do what we currently do.
I was saying the other day to somebody, I might have been to Crafty, that you'll remember this, Chris. When I first went to Japan, you know, there was no luxury of iPhones where you could take a video, take a picture, WhatsApp somebody a picture, sell that koi.
No, it's a different world.
We were taking photographs on a small digital camera that only just came about then, back to the hotel, spending all night getting them onto the laptop, and I'd often be up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
getting these pictures.
The first year I went to Japan, or it might be the first year I worked there, Andrew came back from Japan with a box of Polaroids.
Yeah. Well, he's been
Polaroids with the prices written on.
Yeah,
amazing. When even a digital camera.
Chris, I need to interrupt, and I don't like to butt in, but you're showing your age a bit, because us four will remember Polaroids, but there's going to be a load of people out there that are thinking, what the hell is a Polaroid?
Google.
Yeah. I don't know, mind you, might be wrong there, Crafty, because they're pretty fashionable now.
Yeah, hipster. They're a bit trendy now.
Right, mate.
I know, and my missus is a lot younger than me, bought me one for Christmas anyway, so there we are. They're still around, mate, trust me.
Yeah.
Is it Pantex? Is that what you call it? Pantex or something?
Pentax,
that's the bad boy.
Pentax cameras.
But when you going back to the good old days, well, I don't know whether they were good old days, but the old days, there's a lot of, when we were talking the other day, Crafty, on the phone, about there's a lot of dealers and hobbyists and people who have only entered the koi industry now in the digital age. They forget there was a time before that where your only social media was a guy coming in with a photograph or something, going, look at my pond, and just talking to people like that. And there was no internet. Imagine the world with no internet. And it was like madness. But the hobby, that was what it was like when I started, and it was different. It was so long ago, I can't really remember what it was like. But and that's why it's important for things to evolve and these things to happen, new products to come out, and people talk about them. And it can only be good. I think it's good.
I mean, while you're on that, I mean, let's put this out to everyone. With regards to social media, is it good or is it bad for the hobby?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Because to me, I mean, I'll kick us off, you know, because I think there's good and bad in everything.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, but in my opinion, it's been very good for the hobby over the last few years, because, you know, everybody walks around with one of these in their hand most of the day now. right? Things like YouTube, you know, I mean, what we got 135 people watching now, and this will be played for the rest of the week while people are driving in their cars, and they'll be listening to it and whatnot, right? So not only is it a visual aid, it's also, you know, audible, because you can take it everywhere with you. Yeah. You know, however, there is poor information, and I think, was I speaking to you, Dave, in the week about, you know, when you look back to when you were saying about Polaroids, the club scene was probably where people exchanged information. And, you know, even then there would be crap information being exchanged and good information being exchanged. And then we speak about, you look at the forums, all it is an evolvement of what's happened back in the 80s through to now.
I don't think anything's changed, Crafty. I think years ago it was forums, Facebook pages, and it's like everything. On some you got really, really good information, on others not so good. And I think this is just, like you say, it's the same it's just evolved to this now instead. And I'd like to think on the whole there's more good than bad.
I think so. I think the good outweighs the bad.
I think so. And it does a good job because it does spread the word. I mean, there are, you know, we've got to forget now that our era didn't rely on these, but you know, no youngster now goes anywhere without their phone, and they are the new blood of the hobby now. These that are coming in at 20, 25, 30s, and they're never without these now. So it's a way of getting across to them and a way of them to learn without having the magazines now aren't so prevalent. So you've got Liam's. So it's not like they can pick up a magazine anymore, 2 or 3 different magazines to get an opinion. It's all out on social media now.
And it's the same, I think, you know, like my grandfather had koi ponds. My father, I can remember first seeing his koi pond in like 1985, I think, something like that, you know, in West Wales. But I think the difference in social media now and the internet and all that kind of stuff is you can get things quicker. You can learn things quicker. I mean, you know, products can be produced quicker and tested quickly and all that kind of stuff. I think it's just that probably every hobby, not just a koi hobby, is sped up. Everything's sped up. You can get better at something quicker. And that's
information is
instant now, you know.
You used to have a chat in the pub for 3 hours just to learn.
That's
something.
right. That's right. The same as selling fish. You know, when back in the day when you're using Polaroids, seeing it going to Hiroi, taking a picture of a fish. By the time that fish actually gets to be seen by the customer, could be when you come back from Japan and present it to him, and then you've got to say to the breeder that you want it. I mean, it's a long process, isn't it? Now it can be done in the mountains with Wi-Fi instantly,
within seconds.
Yeah.
I think overall, social media is there, as Dave says. It's evolved. It's an evolution of what we do. You can't ignore it. You can't bury your head in the sand and say, "Oh, I don't do Facebook. I don't do YouTube," because that would just be stupid. I think there's just the only sort of bad bits are it's open to everybody's opinion. I don't know. It sounds bad, like everyone shouldn't have an opinion, but sometimes you get, let's be honest, complete idiots like ruining it for everybody else. And negativity as well. You get like just mindless negativity. People just going blah blah blah, just wanting a reaction, and those little things. I think if you can sift through all that, then it's jolly.
Most people get weeded out fairly quick, though, Chris.
Yeah,
you know, and people get found out quickly. You know,
it's like Lee was saying. I mean, you can a hobbyist can sit at home now, have an issue at 6 o'clock at night, and think, oh, I can't phone my dealer till 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Let me go on Google, or I've seen somebody who's put a video out, maybe can help them with their problem. And I think this is one of the massive advantages of it now.
It's just 24-hour information.
24-hour information. And I think I truly believe it got shifted on many years quicker because of COVID, because of course nobody could communicate during COVID. So the videos were made And I think that's where it exponentially went massive during
Yeah.
COVID, YouTube and
I mean, what does everybody in the comments like? You know, we got a massive audience, over 150. Thank you everyone
That's
for
really
tuning
good.
in.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, imagine everybody in a room now, and it's just us four sat on the stage. That's quite a big old chunk of people. Chris,
Oh,
just to give you a
I'd be too embarrassed. I'd have to hide it. I wouldn't like that.
no, we can't see them, can we, Chris?
So, what do you guys think? You know, let's have some comments off you. Is social media good or bad for the hobby? Let's see. You guys live it. You know, we're just talking it from, you know, a different standpoint, I suppose. You know, so as hobbyists,
I mean,
how do you see it?
Chris will back me up.
I think obviously social media as well. Listen, everyone in the koi industry, the main topic is how do we get younger people into the hobby?
Yeah.
It's a constant thing, isn't it? And I mean, it is difficult because to get a koi pond, realistically, if you haven't got an understanding parent, you got to own a house, right? And that's how it is. But I think with social media is kind of a young thing, isn't it? Realistically, and this kind of platform is where you can brand things to get younger people in, you know, more funky branding, make things a little bit more cooler to make these young people come in. I think it's important. I think social media is going to be the evolution of koi keeping and every hobby there is. I think, you know, without this, we'd still be in the dark ages.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I can remember when we first come into this and set the business up in 2001. We got a website which cost quite a bit back then, and there weren't many websites. Chris will probably remember back then there wasn't many websites, and we got questioned quite. Why do you want to be doing a website?
Yeah.
And now you would not dream of having a business realistically without some sort of website to back it up with. You know, so, and I think this is where social media's gone. You know, us, especially the likes of me, used to think we could stumble by and ignore it.
Yeah, you can't bury your head in the sand with things.
No, you
like
can't.
that.
You can't ignore it. You've got to embrace. You've definitely got to embrace social media and just try and enjoy it.
Yes, I think it has to be social, has to be sociable, and it has to be fun. As soon as it gets to negative and nasty and horrible, then I'll switch it off and go and sit in the garden. I think that's
and as long as you can make it informative as well, Chris.
Yes, yeah.
That's a big bonus, I think. So,
but also on the flip side, to throw caution to the wind as such, I think you need a balance between real life and social media as well. I think you need to go out and sit and switch your social media off and look at your fish and enjoy your pond.
Yeah,
and enjoy outside and that sort of thing. I'm not saying all the time and scrap your social media, but I think a nice balance that doesn't just apply to the koi hobby, it applies with everything. I mean, we've all seen people sitting there not talking to each other, couples at dinner, and that's a big thing, isn't it? So
I mean, I think it's not just in this country. I mean, Chris, you'll know, look how many breeders now are on Facebook.
Yeah,
Instagram, TikTok,
a lot.
They've all embraced it as well now. I mean, I've even seen recently Ueno is on Instagram. I mean, you know, I would have never have thought somebody like Ueno Sam would have been on there, but he's now on there as well. So,
do you know, Dave? So when I go to Japan, I do the vlogs every day, don't I? Go and run all the farms, mate. It's hilarious. I'll turn up at like. I'll just turn up at a farm and they'll go, oh, we seen you yesterday. You were at Heroes. So they literally watch my videos. So they know what's going on about the mountains. It's crazy, mate. Honestly. It's so many people go, you were over there yesterday. Why didn't you come and buy these off me? Well, that, right, okay, yeah.
They're secretly watching you, what fish you're purchasing.
Yeah, so all the breeders watch it. It's really good, like, it's class.
Yeah. Well, we've had a huge amount of response off this. So let's just read a couple out. So Damon found koi initially through social media.
There you go.
You know, and you know that in itself, right, is a win.
Yeah.
Because how many hobbyists out there actually know that there's koi specialists as retailers in the country. Not hardly any, unless you live close by. You know, they'll stumble through a garden centre and then start learning the lesson a little bit the hard way. I mean, Wayne states sometimes there are too many experts giving the wrong advice, and this actually goes back to what we were saying earlier. So even in the koi clubs, right, and the forums, you put a question out there about raise scales on a fish, etc. Somebody's asking questions about water quality. Some are saying about, you know, doing a scrape. In fact, back in the 80s, that weren't even a thing. You know, some people would say that you've got to use salt. Some people wouldn't, you know, or be dead against it. So it doesn't really matter. That there is irrespective of what sort of livestock you'd be keeping. There'd be people that try and test something that works for them, give that advice, and that may not be the right advice for you as a koi keeper. Sometimes you've got to sort of pick the people that you want to work with and only listen to them when it's time for you to submit something. You know.
Do you know that I think some of the problem is I think everyone's got their own experience. Do you know what? Right, I truly believe koi keeping is about water. Okay, water qualities. Right, you keep water, not koi. That's what my old man always used to say, which is true in certain ways, I think. But do you know what, right? Water in Wales, keeping koi in Wales is totally different to keeping koi in London because it's a totally different water makeup. So when you're listening to some of these social media platforms and they're giving you their advice that works in their water makeup, if I tried it in my makeup, it wouldn't work because I can't use some products because I've got low KH. So I think a lot of it is lost in translation. I think a lot of people are experts in their local environment, but when they're trying to pass that knowledge nationwide, it doesn't actually work as good as it would in their environment.
No, I would agree with that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I've often seen people just saying about chloramine tea, just sling it in, you'll be fine. Well,
it depends where you are.
Well, it depends where, exactly.
Well, there's a lot more behind chloramine tea than probably that we could speak half an hour on that medicine.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, people just don't realise how critical certain parameters are to use that and to be
dosage rates as well. You know that
it can soon become a lot more toxic.
That's quite easily. Not lucrative. Yeah.
That's it.
We'll talk about medicines on another show, I think.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Colin Holland states that him and the girls hardly watch mainstream TV anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of customers come in and say that.
To be fair, Colin, he never stops him here. Oh, you need to do something. You need to do something. No, I'm doing it. I don't hear from him, so that's good for me. Luke Bonsai, social media has took over. Well, it has. You know, everything's digital now, isn't it? So I agree. Michael Lawson, hiya, mate. Hope you're well. In my opinion, it is as good. It's good point and place, but there's too many people that give bad advice. And again, I think that comes down to who you take advice from. You know, people learn irrespective, you know, right way or wrong way.
Yeah, I think
go on, Chris. Sorry, mate.
No, I was just saying. I think some people need to stick with one source of information or one koi dealer or something. Put their faith behind them and stick with that. I think the problem comes when they're getting conflicting advice from left, right, and centre. Confuses everyone. They end up not getting the right advice from one person, getting the right advice from another, leaves a bit of a bad taste, kills a few fish, and then there's a negative impact on the hobby. I think find someone you like and you trust and you has always looked after you, and stick with that.
It's mad, isn't it? We all say the same info. We've all got that same advice, to be perfectly honest, haven't we? You know, it's just whether or not people heed that advice, because I'll be negative here, but not purposely. It's more of a positive than a negative, or a positive from a negative. If lots of koi customers listened and done as you asked, sometimes they wouldn't have as many problems as they find themselves having.
Yeah.
You know,
here's one then that might actually be a negative from the social media thing, because I've just thought about that. What Chris was just saying, you should stick with a dealer, ask them questions. Now, the problem we've got now back in the day, your dealer would be local to you with the same kind of water that could give you good advice, come and do a pond visit, come and do a scrape for you. But now a lot of people can buy fish, you know, through the post from the other side of the country because of social media. They want to go there and do that. And then they can't actually give you the care that, you know, they can't pop down the road to give your fish a scrape or to check your pond parameters. They'll have totally different because obviously I buy a lot of fish from Ryan exclusively. His water is totally different to mine. And when he was telling me how to look after fish, I was scratching my head and saying, it's not working. So then I just obviously took on board some of the stuff he was saying and applied some of my own common sense, and then it started to work. So, I mean, that could be one kind of downfall from it, where you've got too much of a reach now to buy koi, and you haven't got that one specific dealer that's actually quite close in relationship to where you are, so they can't do that care and, you know, the duty of care call and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know?
the physical handiness of having someone with a microscope to come and have a look at your fish.
Yeah, maybe.
It's one negative, yeah.
But right, the koi bar, coming back to you. As you've stated, social media has pros and cons, and yes, you have keyboard warriors and people who just want to shame people for mistakes. But generally, I find the koi community a great bunch, and that's what I was saying earlier. You know,
I'd agree with that.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I think you're always going to get negativity and people who want to just shut people down or be horrible to people. But that's in every walk of life, isn't it? It's not just this hobby; it's every hobby you get that.
Yeah.
I've got friends in other hobbies. If they was to try and do something the same, they'd get shot down in flames by certain elements of their hobby. So I believe you'd get that in any hobby. You've just got to rise above it and think 90% of the people are good.
Nice.
I'm a firm believer that dealers should be the people that make the positives and change people's ways of looking, because it's like when you're looking at fish, right? You appreciate, you don't assassinate. And if you can change that opinion on how people think in the hobby, it makes it not just on fish, but the hobby in general. It makes it a better place for people to like rub shoulders and enjoy.
When new people interested in the hobby come into your shop, you need to do everything to sell it to them. Really, this is a great hobby. It's got a good community. There's shows you can go to. You can start small. It caters for most budgets. If you want small fish, little ponds, you can grow up to there's lots of exciting things. So as a dealer, you have to convey that charisma and excitedness to the customer. If they turn up and you say, "Wow, it's all right, really," but it's not that exciting, then that's no good. So that's like you say though, Crafty, that's your job as a dealer to promote and push the industry, because it's your livelihood as well. So I think and most good dealers do that, and you get a good following of customers that come in and they have a laugh and a joke with you, and it's a nice place to go. Yeah, and they get good information and good service.
I've always said that I think what's good about this hobby is, I mean, I can only talk from experience, but you know, we've had quite a few new people in over the years, and they sort of, can I afford this? And because they've looked in the big pond and seen the price of the koi and said, look, it's not all about that.
No.
You know, we don't empty that pond on a weekly basis of them fish. They're there to show you, you know, what you could achieve by buying smaller fish, hopefully. But I think that's what's good about this hobby, is it, like you said, Chris, you can get a fish for £20 and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy fish at hundreds and hundreds of pounds to enjoy this hobby. You can start with a small filter, practical filter. You don't have to have a drum. I mean, those that do like drums, including myself, you can move on to that as your hobby progresses.
You don't even need to know all the names of the varieties to enjoy it.
No.
People come in and say, I want that sparkly one. Can I have that?
Yeah, that's one? Me. That's me.
So I think that's what's good. The hobby's there for everybody, whatever level.
Yes,
so
that's got to be inclusive. Got to be inclusive, isn't it?
Yeah. Paul Cunningham brings back to Paul. What number 3, episode 3? Paul appeared, I think it was. Social media has become powerful, but human beings still like to get together too, talk and meet fellow hobbyists. Koi shows, dealer events, and koi clubs.
Okay,
Absolutely right. And
Yeah.
that brings me on to a point that Si from Up North Koi. So Si is a YouTuber, really decent channel, Up North Koi Pond. Without the digital age, and I can't answer this, but without the digital age, the koi hobby would go stale. And I dare say Si is more of a digital sort of era, same as me, when it come into koi. I mean, so let's throw this to you, Chris, and you, Dave.
Yeah, I think any hobby would go stale without the digital age, really.
Nowadays, with that, no question, it would. No question.
So yeah, in fact, it's hard to imagine the koi hobby without any digital involvement. We'd still be carrying Polaroids around, and
I mean, here's. I mean, you know, I work with koi all day, often 12, 13 hours a day, but I still sit down in the evening and watch the young man down in when he's in Japan. Now, what does that say?
Well, we was only speaking about that, 2 days ago, Dave?
Yeah.
You know, because...
So, mate, Dave, if you want, buy me a flight, sponsor me, and I'll go and walk around the hills of Aegea for you, and you can watch it every night.
Coconuts, mate, Annie. I love it.
Give me a little retainer and I'm there.
So it just shows you the power of social media, that even, you know, koi dealers are watching them.
Yeah.
Do you know the only thing about the digital age, which has really, really annoyed me about the koi hobby, and this is specifically aimed at Alan Tate now, is the online digital benching process. Get rid of it.
That's actually not Alan Tate.
No, I know it's not, but Alan's
but he can take the flak. Yeah, let's give him.
I absolutely hate that online bench. I don't think they're online benching this year at the National, though. I think it's done in person.
Lee,
absolute nightmare.
Here's a question for you, Lee. Since you've been doing all your videos, do you get some nasty?
No.
None.
I can't imagine you getting any negative. You're too jolly and happy.
Well, yeah, actually, I got one once from a lady because I said that Yasmin's knickers smells like PSP, and but then obviously I came back and said, well, listen, I've been shot twice and blown up once, fighting for ladies' rights in the Middle East, and then that kind of stopped that a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was a good comeback.
It was a strong comeback, to be honest. Yeah, so I mean, she did apologise to me then personally in the background. Yeah. But yeah, no, none really. No, I try to help as many people as I can, to be honest. I just try to be a really positive advocate, positive for, like, you know, like good new brands coming in, products. I think I'm quite trustworthy when it comes to stuff like that, you know. I mean, I don't think I'd ever slate a product, but I probably just slide it out of me DMs and just try to get on with something else, because that product, whether it may be not someone's taste, it obviously belongs to someone who's making a living and putting bread on their kids' table. So I mean, you've got to be respectable about stuff like that.
Right, so Paul Williams again. Hi Paul, glad you're watching, mate. So Paul, those that don't know, Paul is an extremely experienced show hobbyist, and even he says that he finds social media is good for him being on his own, but the koi shows are far better than because the actual connection is better by far, the people connection. And again, it's like, this is where it sort of brings us back full circle, where Chris was saying earlier, it's like we're all connected by colourful, slimy creatures.
With the lack of shows now that we used to, from what we used to see many years ago, the social media fills the gaps now, because often you've got quite a few weeks before this show, that show, so it could quite easily go quite stale in between. So I think this is where this fills in them gaps. Lovely for people like Paul who can keep in touch or keep up to speed with certain things. So I think that's where it's very important.
But he is right. There's nothing quite like having a pint. Having a pint with some people that you've known your whole life. And
I mean, I've loved the shows over the years, Chris. I mean, you know, we've got customers up and down the country that will never come to the shop because it's simply too far away. But always make a beeline for us to come and say hello at the show, and it's really quite nice.
Yeah, it's really nice, because some shows you'll work, let's just say the All England, for instance, down in Maidstone or wherever. The guys that go there, I might only see them once a year because it's a round robin. But it feels like when you're there, you're setting up on the Friday or putting your fish in on the Friday, and it feels like mate, is that a year that's gone already? It's crazy how boom, it's quick, isn't it?
Mate, you wait until you start doing the shows as trade, mate.
Well, yeah, it's going to change for me a little bit. Like what Chris was saying, I normally like to have a little pint and have a chat to people, but I don't think I'm going to be drinking this year because I'll be doing water changes.
And salt checks.
Salt checks. Yeah. But there we are.
Yeah.
So Steve Rollins, I haven't read this, Steve, so this is straight off the bat. But another show person. Regrettably, too many people on socials give advice without asking questions to understand the person's setup and events leading up to the issues being experienced. So, for example, this has happened, that's happened, and it's gone straight into you need to do this, that, and the other without having a full understanding of the bigger picture. For example, Lee's comment in CT being an example, and that. So, again, this is where, as we all say, work with people that you trust. Quite often the best people within your own catchment area. And what I mean is, Lee's in Wales, I'm in the Midlands, Dave's right on the coast, so he only knows about 5 people. Chris is more inland. But everybody around that area tends to have the same water setup. Do
you know what? I probably could have a personal assistant for the amount of people that message me about problems with their koi and their ponds, and I'm like, I'm the last person really out of the whole 4 of us that people should ask because I've got the less experience. But I try to even not really say anything now, because trying to diagnose a problem off a text when you've not, like you're saying, if you've not seen the pond, you've not seen the setup, you don't know the water makeup, it's impossible to diagnose anything. It really, really is. So I always say, go to your local dealer, wherever you're buying your fish, go and ask him. Again, local area, he can come out and do everything. So
there are some things that you just cannot do online or with social media. There are some occasions where you do need to physically walk into a shop, look somebody in the eye and say, what do I do? I'm in trouble. I need some help with this. And you can get it sorted out. You can't do that on a text, as you said.
No, impossible.
But I think it's a little bit like if people take their car to the same garage, have done for years. You trust that garage, you stick with that garage. You don't, every time there's a problem with your car, take it to a different garage to sort it out. So that's the same with being loyal to your local dealer, really.
Yeah.
Koi Life, this is a superb comment, mate, and thank you very much, because for me as a new dealer coming in, I'm 4 years into my tenure now. The first thing I realised is that it was very difficult for dealers to actually come together. And coming from a military background, same as Lee, we're all about camaraderie and working together for the better good. And that's well instilled within our DNA now, because the army teaches you that. And this platform was something that I wanted to put together for the exact reason that you're seeing, to prove that dealers can work together. And just wait until you see the lineup. I'm not gonna tell you people that we've got lined up, but we've got a lot of people that have approached and want to be part of us, and people we've reached out to that also want to be part of us. So this is, in my opinion, the first step of showing everyone how good all of us koi dealers can be and work together, because ultimately there's enough customers for everyone, and we're scattered around the whole of the UK. So, you don't need to be war and peace amongst us. You're not kebab dealers. Not anything against kebab dealers.
All on the same street.
But it's a very niche industry we're in, and it's quite a small bubble. And there's people that I speak to outside of the koi world that have never heard of koi carp. You say, we sell koi fish. Oh, never heard of them. And so for that little niche bubble and niche industry, to have all of these specialist dealers that get together 2 or 3 or 4 times a year. Everyone's got to get on. Surely you have to work for the sake of that our whole industry. The Japanese do it. They're always all together.
Oh, mate, they're amazing. Yeah, sorting out all the shows. You see them. You know, they've got the little work groups. They all attend the shows.
The Chinese. I saw a video on there earlier. There was Chinese dealers, Japanese dealers, all round a table together, enjoying everything, celebrating the whole industry that we're lucky to be involved with, and that's what it's about. So why wouldn't everybody just get
Chris? In all the years I've gone to Japan, I've never ever once heard any breeders say anything bad of another breeder.
No. You look at the earthquakes when their ponds were falling down the hills; they were helping each other.
Yeah,
there
was none of this. Oh, that's a shame.
No, because they can see the bigger picture. They can see it's their industry.
Yeah.
Right, Chris. Colin Holland's pointing something out, mate. Right, he's clearly noticed that you like a tipple. You're going to pop up or what? Your wine. Get yourself away. If you ain't got a bottle, go and get yourself another tipple, mate. It's not.
I will in a minute. I'll pace myself.
Right, let's move away, guys. Everybody that's watching, over 180 in now.
Thank you, guys.
Mate, that is just superb. Right, and that's exactly what we want. We want to get it right. If there's 180 of us watching, let's get a load of likes in there.
And what you want to do is 180s watching, text a mate, and get those to watch us as well.
Absolutely.
And subscribe to my channel.
Well, I've got a really big family.
Of 1,000 because
get my numbers up.
Streaming, he's going to start doing more on camera, aren't you, Dave? Where you're talking.
Yeah. Shall I get Yasmin to give her 1.8 million subs on TikTok to come over and give us a watch as well?
Mate, can you imagine that? That'd be great. But I physically can't get through all of the comments, guys. And what I will say is thank you. It's good that you're contributing. I will pull one up though, because Matt and Rach, grateful you're within 45 minutes of us, Craft. Your knowledge has been so helpful. More than welcome. And anybody that comes in, anyone that rings me up, if I'm available on the phone, I'll talk to you. It's not a problem. And as will any of these guys as well, to be fair. Let's get into the main meat of it, Chris. Right? Let's start off with China.
Okay.
Because and then we'll work backwards. And I will be talking about the new Kigen food. So Kevin Kigen. All right. That's how I want people to remember it. We'll be getting onto that a little bit later. But first and foremost, this sort of has been a common topic over the last few weeks with us. Obviously, as dealers, we're really interested in China. It's a little bit of an unknown to us, but not to you so much because you've been out there already. And then we'll move into the media aspects with Mountain Tree, and then we'll look at the food, just so people are aware. So when you went out to China, give us a summary of how many times you've been.
I've been to China twice. I went first in 2024. I was invited by Mountain Tree as part of their Koi United trip, which they done, which was basically a bus full of people from Europe. There was me from England, a couple of Germans, some Belgians, Siba from Holland, Geert from Holland, and a few others. Super nice bunch of people. By the end of the week, as you would imagine, spending that much time day in and day out with all of these koi nuts, you end up with a new bunch of best friends. It's like just how it is in traveling and the koi world. So anyway, we had this 8-day trip around China, and Mountain Tree was showing us koi farms along the way. The biggest one that we saw was Sujin Koi Farm, who's probably as big, maybe bigger now than Sakai Fish Farms, and that was mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing, because we asked how old when he started building the koi farm, and it was 4 years, I think. It's only 4 years old. It was absolutely immense. And he said in the next 2 years it's going to double or triple the size. So there were greenhouses within greenhouses. That was vast, all full of fish, all Sakai bloodline, Dainichi bloodline. Just looked like Sakai fish and Dainichi fish. So the guy who owns Sujin Koi Farm is Dr. Yuan, and he's won the All Japan Koi Show a few times. Well-known koi show winner, over the years. Obviously, a massive hobbyist with loads and loads of money, decided to go into the koi game. So that was just one of the farms. We saw about 12 or 14 farms, and they were all super impressive, all immaculate, all modern. The quality of the fish was amazing. And then we
Chris.
finished it off with judging the All China Koi Show.
Chris, were they breeding from their own bloodlines, the other farms, or were they generally again from the big bloodlines from Japan?
There was some and some. So Sujin was breeding from Japanese parent fish in some cases, and he was also breeding from second or third generation koi that originally came from Japanese parents. So they were, I think they have to be 5 or 6 or 7 years old down the line to be classed as domestic Chinese koi.
Yeah.
But one of the farms on the recent trip in 2025, the last farm we went to was a farm called Gobin Koi Farm, and there's I wrote a little bit in Liam's magazine this month, and all of his fish are Chinese domestic bred. Wow. And me and Seabay were walking around, and we looked in this pond full of big Tosai Showa, and it looked like a pond of super quality Dainichi Showa. And we both said to each other, he must have just bought a load of small Dainichi Showa and grown them. And when we asked, he said no, he hasn't bred with Japanese parent fish for 12 years.
Wow.
So everything's domestic. And that was Gobin Koi Farm. He was super good, really nice guy, massive facility.
So what impression do you get they're trying to achieve? Are they trying to achieve global sales for their koi, or domestic mainly, or?
I think the domestic market is so big that they're probably just trying to conquer that first. I don't think I still think they have the utmost respect for Japanese koi and Japanese koi farmers. I don't think they're aggressively trying to take over the world with their fish. When you actually meet them and sit down and talk to these multi-millionaire Chinese koi farmers, they're normal people like me and you, and they're so passionate. The thing that surprised me was their passion about the koi. I was expecting it to go bowling into it, finding it a highly industrialized koi factory, when they were as excited as when you go to Japan and two koi farmers are talking excitedly about a new fish they're bred. And same in China, the level of excitement and genuine passion was up there. That was super good. Mr. Pan, who's the guy he's won the All Japan Koi Show 3 or 4 or 5 times. Yeah, he organises the whole Chinese Koi Show, and we spent quite a bit of time talking to him, interviewing him, and his knowledge and passion is admirable, I would say. So,
when you do a comparison against the Japanese farmers, Chris, obviously you've got your spawning, your fry selection, etc. That's by Dubai. Do they go as far as selecting out for mud ponds, or is it all concrete growing, or
a bit of both? I think the Sujin Koi Farm had some big mud ponds away from his place that he used. Gobin only raised and bred all of his koi in concrete ponds, so I think they mix it up a bit. The one thing I will say, the difference between Chinese and Japanese koi industries is there aren't the varieties available in China yet.
Right.
Most places we went, most places were Gosanki, a few Shiratsuri, and a lot of like Ginrin Karashiko, i.e. yellow monkeys. So they were the varieties. There were a few places done a few little things, but generally they don't have the varieties and they don't have the history that Japan has, obviously. So
well, that's interesting on its own. I mean, when you was over there, Chris, was without talking trade prices, was anything discussed about importing back to the UK, or? We discussed that, and price wise, I don't think the price of the fish is going to be any cheaper than Japan. The good fish are good fish, aren't they? And everybody's wise enough, whether it's getting information through social media or the global platform of it all, they know what the price of a good fish is. So whether it's bred in China or Japan. This was a big unknown to us, because it's like, if they're doing it on such an industrial scale, it's like, will that drive the price of fish down?
Maybe slightly, because they've got more fish. that is one area that they will benefit from. Their setups are massive and they're growing every week, every year. So they're producing so many fish, and as we all know, it's with fish farming, it's a numbers game, isn't it? So the more you produce, the more chance there are of being good ones. So yeah, I think the prices may go down a little bit, but they weren't like in my mind before I went. I thought years ago that was always all Chinese fish. They'll be a third of the price of Japanese, or they'll be on the realms of sort of Israeli fish and homebred fish. But no, I think that the quality is up there now, and they've got domestic Chinese bloodlines which are revered as well as much as like some of the strong Japanese bloodlines that everybody talks about. So there's Chinese breeders that are famous in their own right.
So
one thing. Oh, sorry.
Lee. So they've got a following with their own people now, their own koi.
Yeah. I had a retail customer come in a few weeks ago, a Chinese guy, looking at some Dainichi fish we had, and he goes to China regularly, and he said the Gobin bloodline fish are really sought after in China, and they command high prices. He's won a few of the all China koi shows with his domestically bred Chinese koi, competing against Japanese koi.
Wow.
So yeah, the quality is there. The quality was mind blowing, but the setups were crazy big.
Did you get to speak to any of the guys that run these to see if they're going to do other varieties going forward, Chris, or are they just going to concentrate mainly on
we did. I think a lot of the koi farms we went to were quite high end ones. And as we know, high end koi hobbyists generally ask for Go Sankey, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
So probably if we go to a different part of China, and China is massive, there's hundreds and maybe thousands of koi farms. I'm sure there's other places that are going to specialise in metallic and Deutschfish or something.
Well, I guess it's no different to Japan, realistically. You've got your big names that concentrate mainly on Go Sankey, haven't you?
Exactly. Sakai only produces Sankey, Cargo, and Showa. And
so I guess no difference.
What about we touched on this last week? What's the setups and sort of like the koi health and all that kind of stuff, in your opinion, like over there? Obviously, we're going to talk about Mountain Tree. I think they use quite a lot of that product over there. But what's their facilities like? Are they clinically like more superior than Japan?
They were certainly modern, brand new, and spotless.
Yeah.
So there weren't any like. I don't want to obviously poo-poo Japanese breeders because they've been friends and
of course,
whole working life, and they still are. But you go to some fish farms in the north of Japan or anywhere, and they haven't changed in the 28 years they've been going. The floor, they've patched the floor up with a piece of wood, and the
filters run on fag butts.
The filters run on fag butts and oyster shells. But it works for them.
Yeah,
they're
of course.
Producing stunning fish. They're selling out every year, and they're happy with that. But the Chinese have got the benefit of only being very young in the industry.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of money to throw at it and a lot of space to do it. So they've done it, and they're going strong, like they are with the car industry, like you mentioned on last week's. They're not in it to mess about. They're going
serious.
big. They're serious. And but you can't import Chinese koi into Japan, so there'll never be a Chinese koi winning the All Japan Koi Show, will there? Which is the most prestigious koi show in the world.
Yeah.
So. I agree with that as well. Actually, I think that should stay that way as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing wrong with the Chinese having their own big show and doing it how they want, and the Japanese keeping it sacred to Japan.
But what was very impressive and heartwarming was the connection between Japanese and Chinese. I was I don't know why, but in my mind I was thinking, that'll be like Chinese on one side of the room, Japanese on the other. But it was so nice to see everyone laughing and joking. There was everybody who was anybody was there at the All China Koi Show, at the dinner things, and they're all laughing and joking, and as part of this big global koi community, and it was amazing. That was super lucky to be involved with that, really, and that was all down to Mountain Tree inviting me over.
Amazing.
What are they doing differently over there, Chris? What are they doing differently? What are they doing differently over there in comparison to the Japanese, other than scale?
Oh, I don't know. Really, the fish looked as good as Japan to me. Everything was done very similar to Sakai fish farms. I would compare it to big, modern. The fish, the stocking levels were similar sort of stock. Well, I say that Go Bin, when we went to Go Bin Koi Farm, stocked his ponds very, very lightly. He had some huge ponds with only 50 little tosai in, just swimming about, and they'd all bunch up near the feeder. And to us, that would be like a huge waste of space, really. But he said 50 is maximum, and that's how you get the best growth, the best development from my fish. But he had loads of space to do it. So.
And are they all using mountain tree products with the matting and
all the fish farms we went to had massive amounts of mountain tree filter media, but a bit like Japan, their filtration systems are different to ours. We're using drums and combis and moving beds, and they've got these big long troughs of oyster shells and baffles of jack mat and mountain tree mat and things. But they do use a lot of showers. Most of the big farms we went to had giant showers, and they were all full of mountain tree. Whenever we lifted the lids and looked in, they were full of them. So yeah, trying to incorporate the mountain tree into the filtration system that we've become accustomed to is one of my next challenges. So with our new greenhouse we built, we put combi filters on it, and we've used a small amount of moving bed and then a big chunk of submersed lotus root and spiral matting just to see how it worked. And from start up to about 6 weeks later, we had an ammonia spike that went down quite quickly. We put some filter start in and stuff, but the whole cycle seemed super quick to me. So I can only put it down to efficient filtration media. So we sold a lot of that for those situations.
Looking at the lotus root stuff, Chris. Right, so we're in Gen 3 now. Would it be fair to me to ask you what the differences are through the generations, to see what lessons?
Well, I don't know much about Generation 1 because I've never dealt with that.
Back in 1 minute, guys.
We've only ever had Generation 2 and Generation 3. And I did actually share a little video today on our Facebook about the difference between Generation 2 and Generation 3. And basically, apart from the shape of it, Generation 3 is a cog shape, so there's slightly more surface area for the beneficial bacteria to colonize. It's also made with a different formula that releases minerals, so it releases magnesium, calcium, and things into the pond for up to 5 years. So yeah, it's not just a different shape to the other one. It's completely different formula with minerals that slowly dissolve into the pond. And when all the minerals have gone, the media acts as a filler media with bacteria on it.
So would that counteract the requirement for clay in a pond?
To some degree, initially, yeah. Obviously, the amount of minerals that it releases is very slow, and over time it diminishes. So, yeah, I would still chuck a bit of clay in because you can't really go too far wrong with that. But yeah, that's working ever so well for people.
Lee's back. Let me just bring him back into the frame.
I was just about to. I've got a great example of proper mature lotus root. Look at that.
Oh yeah, and that one hasn't
full ecosystem on that bad boy.
Yeah,
I'll tell
it's
you
like
what,
a piece of art.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Wait, Chris is into his art, Lee. Get it in a box, get it sent over. Worth a couple of million.
You love that.
Glass dome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's probably that's just been running for about 2 years. I've done a small collaboration with them, and they sent me a few boxes of that down, and it's just been in the main pond, and it's great. It's really good stuff. It's been running literally for. Let's have a little look. It's been running for 2 years, and it's absolutely still rock solid.
Because that was one of the down points on like first gen. It went fairly soft and spongy.
Well, there was there was a batch in the initial days before we started selling it in the UK. There was a batch that just dissolved and crumbled. They knew about it. It was a faulty batch that had been baked at the wrong temperature or something. But they replaced the whole lot and moved on and onwards and upwards. But yeah, it's just one of one of those
I
things.
mean,
But no, I'd want you to try some Generation 3, Lee. We'll send you some.
Yeah,
You can try
like I said,
put
it's
it in.
I've got. Funny enough, I've got a load of showers and they're empty at the moment, so it would be really interesting to try some of the new products.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what you
be
need
really
to do
good.
because
Yeah.
the company again. I bowled into the whole China thing, thinking this company are just going to be a big industrial money grabbing machine, and I couldn't be any further from the truth. They're all coy boffins, coy nuts. Their
Yeah.
office with 30 little computers in. They all had little aquariums and funny things
Yeah,
next to them. They're all
awesome.
fish and koi and aquarium nuts. They had a R&D department that had all these amazing marine tanks in because they do a lot for marine fish as well.
Yeah, that's what they want in a
everything
little
was
aquascape. That's
Well,
what they'd have.
They do them. They make little bits of little bits of lotus root with a little flower in a little glass dome. They
Beautiful.
produce all that. Amazing.
Yeah.
But the whole company are absolutely a wonderful bunch. I spent a couple of weeks ago. I took them all around England a bit and showed them what we do here. And yeah, they're really nice. And I'd like to keep pushing their stuff because I believe in it and I believe in them.
Well, we're going to start stocking that now, Chris, after our discussions recently.
Yes, I think you should.
So Mon the Fish, Crazy Scotsman, what's that called? So that's Lotus Root Generation 3, mate. Real good stuff. But we've also got brush media and really mental Jack matting that is a luminous green, which I actually really like. I must admit,
It's really good. I'm running some of that as well. It's good stuff.
You know, and
when
you look, sorry, Chris, go on, mate.
Sorry.
Yeah. When you look at the makeup of it, and unlike the normal Jack matting, you know, the blue stuff that we tend to put in our ponds that we're used to, that's a lot more dense. So this stuff is a lot wider, so flow through and bacteria growth in it looks like it could be extremely good. I mean, time will tell because I'm going to put some into a couple of our ponds, Chris. That's what my aim is.
But what the real unique thing about the spiral mat that they do is because I thought, oh, this is just green Japanese matting, maybe a bit denser. But when you pull a strand out and look at it, each of the strands are completely dimpled, like ribbed.
Yeah, they're all like that. Literally,
they're like that. Yeah, each strand is like
load of surface area.
So the surface area for biological, so it acts as good mechanical for straining stuff out, but super biological as well.
And it comes in some huge like chunks that can be cut down. You also stack it as well, Chris, right?
Yeah. There's huge in China. They've got bays 20 meters long and a meter wide, just solid full of it, and the water slowly goes through the whole thing.
Yeah. I'd love to try that. I'd love to, because I need to make another couple of ponds here, and that was one of my ideas. Instead of having to move in bed, I was literally going to get some of that to pass the water through it. I mean, it's just a lot of aeration as well going through it. I think it would just be, something different to trial. And, you know, knowledge is power and all that. It'd be interesting to be able to pass some of that knowledge on to people.
Yeah, I think the reason they use so much of that in China and now obviously at Sakai Fish Farms is using all the mountain tree stuff is because their systems are so massive. Because look, you could never put drums and moving beds and fluid beds or whatever on those giant ponds in all those greenhouses.
No,
so they found the most efficient. Yeah, they found the most efficient and best form of submersed filter media and stacked it up with that. Also, I think a nice idea for the lotus root, especially the Generation 3 that releases the minerals, a reason for using it instead of all the moving Hell X or K1 is it just seems it's a little bit more natural. You've got a ceramic product in there slowly leaching minerals out rather than a bunch of Lego churning around, plasticking everything up. So in my mind, it just feels a bit more nice. And then it starts growing ferns out like yours, and more
really beautiful there, aren't they? That's the first thing I look at when I walk into the main pond. Not the fish, it's just that one fern. I love it.
See if there's another sprouted like.
Yeah.
It's been Matt. In fact, Cy from up north has asked a question. Do the Filtro Excellent range have a dedicated combi unit that incorporates a drum style mountain tree bio?
They do.
So-
Yes, they make one with mountain tree lotus root made into a rotating disc thing. I don't think they've taken off in the UK that much because they're quite expensive.
Yeah, very
and
expensive.
you've got another motor churning a load of stuff around. But we've found using the normal drum combi system and just in the biological chamber, hanging the lotus root in there and using some spiral mat as well to make a cartridge has been really, really successful. So that's the way we push people when they come and buy a new filter. We say, well, it comes with some Helex. If you want something a little bit more efficient and nicer and more modern, then you've got this route to go down if you want.
Because you also,
It's an option.
Sell some cradles, don't you, where you can hang 2 or 3
Yes.
lotus root pieces in
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Which
suspend
I
them
thought
on
was quite
a
cool.
hanging kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really well thought out. And you've got the, okay, it looks like pumice. You've got the small little ceramic stones as well, haven't you, that you can use.
Yeah.
There's a load of different products. It really is. They are coming out with new innovative things every year, to be honest. And I for sure this year, I'm definitely going to jump on some of that and really give it a good trial and put it through its paces as much as you can, the koi pond.
I mean,
But,
while
yeah.
Lee mentions them, Chris, them little pumice stones. So I notice they're out of stock. When are you getting any back in?
There's some coming. There's some on the way. They've been a little while, but they're on the way. They're the nitro rings, aren't they?
Yeah.
Called? Nitro.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, they look quite cool when I was looking at them in the week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. There was another Matthew asked Chris, maybe you can shed a bit of light on this one. How does Gen 3 compare to a moving bed? Let's say 100 litres of K1 in a combo drum or a bio chamber full with Gen 3. So I dare say that they're both designed to do the same job with regards to nullifying bad water.
So I'm sure somewhere there's a bit of technical information that tells you exactly how many meters square of surface area there are on each piece of
I've read it.
Gen 3. There is somewhere, and also there'll be the same information for a bag of K1, so you can work out which has got the highest surface area.
So K1 at a meter cubed is average around 1,400 meters squared.
1,400 meters square.
Yeah, and that's a meter cube.
Yeah, I don't know what the Gen 3 is per piece and how many you would need to make a meter's cube, but we could work it out.
Such a geek to know that. How do I know that?
But anyway, I can only really go on our experience with using one in our brand new greenhouse from scratch, a chamber full of, that's actually Gen 2. The startup process on the new filter was so much quicker. The startup cycle, i.e. ammonia up, down, and I can only put it down to that. Obviously, the benefit with Gen 3 over a plastic moving media is it releases the minerals, the magnesium and calcium and things back into the pond.
I think that's superb. That bit beneficial alone is, that's really good because it's amazing how quick that disappears out your water.
Yeah. But if you check out the Mountain Tree website or look on their social media, they're always putting little videos explaining all of that. Yeah. Really nice little videos as well. So they're worth checking out.
And there's no question a ceramic media will mature much faster than any plastic media.
Yeah, I think
all day long. Yeah.
No, I think that's one that we need to have a look at. I'm going to change the back house media in our main pond to that to see if there's any noticeable difference. I mean, we're not going into a brand new pond; we're going into a mature pond, so it'll be interesting to see how well it handles quite a heavily stocked.
I've been selling it a while, Crafted. I really do like this media.
Yeah.
With any product that, as you said, the best way to sell it is to have faith in it yourself, and the only way to do that is to use it yourself, to try it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just talking a load of old rubbish about something you don't know about. You've got to try it and use it and speak to people and get good results. You might try and it doesn't make any difference at all, and then you can be honest with your customer and say, "Oh, it doesn't make any difference at all." But in our opinion and our experience, it's matured massively quick, and all the ponds we've got it in are good. So that's all we can go by.
Yeah. So, anyone interested in that product, hit any of us up. We're all stockists. But Lee, are you doing things like that, mate?
I am gonna. Yeah, I need to talk to Chris. Obviously.
Yeah, you've got an account now, mate. It's like,
Well,
I'll sort you out, Chris. New
I
customer,
think
all right.
last year Chris sent me an email and a catalog and all that kind of stuff. So probably in theory I probably have, but it's a phone call away, isn't it? So, but
Okay.
I have had some people on the phone to me requiring drums and all that kind of stuff. So I guess I'll have to grow up and set up an account with Chris at some point.
Yeah, see how your koi show goes first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It might be the first and last.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Yeah,
that you're aware of that's new on the range that exclusive you can maybe leak a bit of info on, Chris? I mean, it's a long shot, isn't it? But
wow. What on Mountain Tree range or anything in particular?
Yeah, Mountain Tree.
They are bringing out a Generation 3 small media because the Generation 2 Lotus Root is they do bits that are that big and then they do a smaller version.
Yeah.
For people to break up and put in trickle showers and just get a more even flow through. But they're now doing the same small version in Generation 3, I believe.
Because the bigger ones got a netting round it. Is that correct?
Yeah, they all have a netting round.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Colin Holland's just helped out and sent me over some info. So 6,618 square meters per litre of surface area. So roughly a 20% increase over Gen 2. That's huge.
Yeah.
That is massively bigger than K1.
Mm.
So, and this is what I say to people all the time. You've got to research your products. And that's how you get to know what's really happening. I mean, says me Saturday, I didn't even know myself, but I did know K1, so I can get myself out of jail a little bit. Right, shall we have a look at some Kigen stuff?
I'll just quickly grab a drink.
Get yourself a couple of bottles in, mate. You're going to need it. While we're on that, let's have a quick look. Any comments? In fact, before we move on to that, there was a comment that was made earlier on, and it actually fits to what we was just discussing to an extent. So, Rachel, I'll pose the question again to Chris when he returns, but we're looking at setting up some IBC tanks for growing on. Would love input on how you would set them up by the looks of that. Looking at mid to high price bracket. So, there's something for all of us. Anyone want to take a stab in the dark and take that first on?
IBC.
When you say setting up, they're going to run that with the fish in that, or as filtration?
Yeah. So talking earlier, it looks like they want 3 separate growing tanks,
right?
Which they're using an IBC converted into a pond. But their question is, how would they set them up? Like, what filters would you use? Pumps, media, etc., etc. I said I'd put it to drop a question in. I'll put it to us guys. Money mid to high range, so they don't want cheap and cheerful. They want to do it as a bit of a serious one.
They probably want to.
With that?
They hold about 1,000 litres, do they?
1,000 litres a piece.
So 3,000 litres. How many? What's that in gallons? Because I still work in.
I mean, you could run you could run those just on nice backy showers.
660 odd gallons. Is that?
Yeah,
that's it, 220 in each one.
Yeah.
Well, put it this way, I'm running some systems off site that are 400 gallons with an easy pod, and I've got 60, 70 koi in them.
Mm.
Okay, so but you haven't just got an easy pod, Dave, have you?
Yeah.
You've got have you not got inline heaters with them as well?
Oh, I've got we have to, because obviously we heat ramp and everything else. So it depends what they're going to do. If they're going to just use it through the summer months for growing, or whether they're going to continue growing on.
It's going to be an indoor,
from
what I understand. So on an indoor, they want to grow the fish on. They're literally they're gone balls deep into this hobby, and I welcome it with open arms, because they are fanatic about it, and they've done one pond. They're doing their second pond, which is quite special. But they also want to go into buying small, growing big as well. So, they come to me today saying, this is an idea. I said, I'll put it to you guys. See what you've got a lot more experience.
Sometimes my advice would be, I can remember a guy that once come in here who did something similar. And by the time he'd bought all the fittings to connect, all this, that, and the other, and to make it work, I said, why don't you go out and buy a second-hand quarantine tank?
Yeah, buy something ready-made.
You can go on eBay and find them for 200 quid. Somebody getting rid of. In fact, I thought I saw one on Facebook the other day, something like 400-gallon tank, and he wanted it out the way for 150 quid.
But maybe they're more like me and they've got OCD and they want 3 exactly the same, so they want to make it themselves.
So are they going to be they want them independently for different fish? Do they craft it?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They want to go down that route where, they'll buy a batch of fish per growing tank, and then like Lee did a couple of years ago, grow them out, select a couple of the best ones, and move the others on.
It's up to them how they do it. We use easy pods on our systems because they work, but they could have a pump in there and just to a small little shower or something like that.
Yeah, that's the problem with easy pods are really awkward. I don't know. I think I probably, Ryan's stuff up in exclusively works great with those little homemade showers. I think they're awesome. Like little 2-inch bottom drain into a variable pump into an inline and then over the shower.
Just pump over a shower, yeah.
But doesn't that put all the crap over it?
Yeah, but they've got a filter floss on the top, and what you can do is you can make an overflow. So if it clogs up and overflows, it'll come back in. But I think Ryan just cleans that floss once or twice a week in really heavy feeding, and it works great. Loads of pumice stone, but I suggest you get the lotus root stuff now.
Lotus root, the Mountain Tree do a filter floss as well for the top.
Yeah,
they do a reusable.
Comes in a nice box, folded as well.
So I've got them on tab ready to go.
So they can do it. They can do it really quite simple then, really.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a nice way to do it as well. The backy showers, you can get whatever box you want. You can make those. It's enjoyable to do as well, and you can get them to fit really nicely on top of those 3 separate systems. Keep all the nasties out of each one if you got an issue. Lovely.
Pump fed, side fed. What
it'd be pump. I'd put a 2-inch bottom drain in. The Cottony Koi 2-inch bottom drains.
Yeah, you pull that's all you need. The 2-inch bottom drain with a pump. Pump it up the shower.
Yeah,
pump it straight up. There you go. So we're being in agreement then. Either an easy pod, but if you want a little bit more, easy pods take up quite a lot of room.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and you can probably build a shower. Can you build it cheaper? Yeah, I think you could build it cheaper.
If I'm honest, knowing them, they'll probably buy miniature showers to go with them.
Yeah,
nice. Right. Okay. Yeah.
It'd be a nice little setup.
Yeah, filter floss. Maybe look at some lotus root in there. Would you go for that?
Yeah. A whole Mountain Tree shower.
A little setup would be nice. Yeah, lotus tree on the bottom tier, and then you could have maybe like the spiral mat all nice chucked in, and then the filter floss on the top.
Well, a lot of those showers, they cut a piece of that green spiral mat on the top, and then when the water hits it, it diffuses it nicely.
Helps gutting. Yeah.
Okay, so little setup.
I think what we'll agree with, and that all those that agree say aye, will go pump fed via a 2-inch bottom drain to a shower that has got some Mountain Tree, Jack mat, filter floss, and pumice stone. Not pumice stone, lotus root.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right,
I think that'd work well.
Like I was saying to you earlier, and it's quite a good link actually. Totally unpracticed. We can then look at maybe Tozai RG42.
RG92.
92. They'd be doing the
first
hurdle with that.
Yeah, they'd be doing the same thing as Seba. Seba's doing that, isn't he?
Is that how he's doing it as well?
Yeah, he's got a complete Mountain Tree system running in conjunction with the Tosai 71 RG92 Kigen food together to test the food and the filter.
What inline heaters have you got, Dave? Do you know what they're called?
Yeah, Elecro.
The Electra ones.
It's about the most. To be honest, for inline heaters, they're about what I found the most reliable. over the years. But I think you can get submersible ones as well, the stainless ones, can't you, Chris? If you want to just so you've got two ways of doing it. I just use the inline ones, them Electro.
The Electro ones are probably the ones to go for.
Yeah,
They're cheaper versions. There's Aquaforte do some, Cloverleaf makes some, but the Electro ones are probably the premium, the higher premium ones.
Yeah, I've never had issues with them, Chris.
Right, so there you go, guys. So when you're ready, come in. We'll sit down. We'll work out what you need, and then get that underway. And then hopefully we'll get some pictures of your setup to share with everyone. And when you do your fish, if we start you off on this Kigen food, then yeah, we'll be able to see some results. But Chris, new food, right? Like everything, I think I personally think that food gets probably the biggest flack, and rightly so, because it's such a massive market. They all claim to be the award winners. A lot of them don't have any sort of information attached to them. They release on the market, and then we let the results do the talking. But people are aware about my opinion on food. I think that it's very under researched. I think that people tend to go with word of mouth over anything else. And I don't think people realise how important it is from a koi perspective of what you're putting in the mouth makes a huge difference to what it is that your results will be. And the biggest issue is that the koi keeper themselves don't follow the rules. However, there's very excited with a new range of food that come out merely on the basis of how can I put this, transparent the research was, and all of the information that was been looked at has been shared. And that is what really got me interested in this food more than anything. So when the brochure came out, I was like, holy crap, the amount of information that was in this brochure really, really made me knuckle down and look into what this Theo has gone into. So before we start actually going into the nitty-gritty on the range, what the ingredients are, people probably already fairly aware of it, especially with the amount of stuff that we've been pushing out between us. Give us a little bit of an insight into Theo is, Chris, if you could, please.
Well, I was introduced to the Kigen brand and then obviously Theo by Siba van Tilburg, who I've become friends with since we went to China, and we share the same sort of interests in koi and business and stuff. So anyway, Siba contacted me and said, there's a really good koi food that I believe is going to be good. I've looked into it, and he's a clever guy as well. So I always listen to what he says, because he thinks about stuff before he makes too many statements, and he doesn't commit to things unless he's analysed it a bit. And anyway. So he suggested I get in touch with Theo at Kigen. I can't even pronounce it now. Kigen. So so within a few weeks, Theo got in touch, and we said, "I'll come over and see us." At that point, we were thinking, it's another Dutch company trying to take over the world with a fish food with a sticker on it. Like there are when you go around the Dutch koi show, there's a million different foods, mostly all made in the same sort of place with different labels, all claiming to be the best with the highest protein and all of that. And me and Andrew are a little bit skeptical to start with. And anyway, we sat down with Theo. And Theo's background is he owns one of the biggest PPE companies in Europe, I think. They sell all the fire retardant outfits for people, and he's got a big company. He's a businessman anyway, but his passion is koi. I think he's been doing koi for 23 years. So he's always thought about koi foods and how he'd love to make something using the best ingredients, scientifically backed, and put a lot of effort and a lot of research into it before he brought something out. So that's where the Kigen food came from. So we sat down with Theo, and he talked us through the whole evolution of his koi food and how he only wanted the best LT71 fish meal, and then he made this range, and it originally only had 5 products in. And then at the last stage, he then discovered this RG92, which I keep referring to as magic algae. So he discovered the magic algae. So then obviously had to bring a fifth food out with the RG92 in. He then went on to describe the story of how the RG92 was discovered, which was fascinating. I won't try and tell it because I'll probably ruin it. But if anyone's come to the National Koi Show, he's going to be on the stand with us there. And he's there to speak to you guys, the public, anybody who's got any questions, and tell them the story, the reason he chose the particular ingredients he's using in it. And yeah, after meeting him, hearing about the food, we not only had excitement for the food coming, also we had faith in him. He was a decent guy, so we thought, yeah, we'll give it a go. After all, that is what we're here for, bringing new products to the industry, just to find new products and to present them to the public and to you guys and to the dealers. So yeah, that was it then. A couple of weeks later, we signed the deal, and now we're looking at taking the first batch in about 10 days. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt something, right? And please don't flog me with 100 lasses if it don't go right. But I'm going to try and share a screen here, just to give you guys an idea of what has been. Has it come up? Has it? Yeah, there. Right. So this here is basically what I seen that really got me interested in this food, because like I said earlier, this brochure, and I have posted it on our Facebook, this is going into the whole range of food that they're bringing out, which again, in my opinion, a one cat fits all diet is not a good diet for koi, in my opinion, right? But then it goes into so much information with regards to the ingredients and the importance of the ingredients and how it affects koi, even to a point where you will learn something if you read through this. You know, the amount of information that this guy has shared through having a passion and an understanding of the diet and how important that diet is when feeding fish in order to get the best out of it. I mean, you only have to look at me and you know that I'm fed on McDonald's, right? We all know that, all right? And it's the same. You are what you eat, right? But if I'm perfectly honest with anyone, like most people, and I would probably say 99% of koi keepers do not deep dive into what is actually in a koi food. They will only ever really look at protein and when you can feed it. Right, and quite often, most koi food is sort of follows the route of sake, which is, you know, we all know that is the best food on the market without a shadow of doubt. But it's very basic: balance, color, growth, multi-season, R, white, and red. Right, and it all does exactly what it says on the tin. Most other koi foods tend to try and follow that, but they plaster all these like shiny bags and etc. But most people don't even look at what the ingredients are and how it affects fish. I mean, we constantly look at things like, for example, wheat, poultry, and insect protein. That has been last year something that was discussed in some detail, but in honesty, did we really understand what it had done in fish? I would say no. Right. So I've done over the last couple of weeks quite a lot of research into ingredients, and I've been blown away. And the amount of information in this brochure, and if anybody wants it, I'll post it back in my groups and Facebook again after the show, just to give you an idea that is just so much information in one brochure. And I think actually just showing that, people need to read it because they will understand the food and what it actually does. So, you know, and I'm not trying to flog this. I think actually it's an exciting new food. And because of the transparency and the amount of information that's there for you to put your heads in, it really helps you understand what you're doing with a diet and how that can affect your fish. And no other brand or food does it. And I think that is just one big drive behind it.
Yeah.
You know, irrespective of what other people say, you know,
Yeah.
the results will do the talking. Right? None of us here will know what the end result's going to be.
Nope.
But when you look at how much someone has gone, or when you look at what Theo has gone to with regards to getting all of these ingredients put together, the amount of research that is put into it, and shared that with everyone, I think that in itself gives me a bit more confidence that this food could deliver. If I'm perfect,
it's got every chance to, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's how I see it. I mean, I've seen you've just got a nick to bag out your cupboard. So you obviously think,
I've got some. And I can tell
that's
you
for the kids for breakfast.
Yeah,
The smell.
He's run out of Cocoa Pops.
Yeah, well, he was saying that it's got healing capability.
Pellet. It's tiny. You can't see it, but it's tiny little pellet. But yeah, that's really good smell.
Well, good. What's the?
I mean, a lot of it. I mean, it sounds stupid, but you can actually smell a good food as well, can you? You really genuinely can.
That's one of the first things Theo said. Open a bag up and smell it. Yeah, it smells good.
Well, does it feel oily in the hand, Chris?
No, not really.
You know, which is a good thing, because I've used food in the past which, you know, you feel like you get a film over your hands from that amount of oil that's in it.
Yeah, no, it's not too oily. It's a medium dark colour, not too dark, not pale, and yes, looks good. But as you said, the proof will be in the pudding. And you're not really going to know until you've had a good few months at it, I don't think. Yeah, a good few months at chucking it in to see what happens. The most noticeable thing, as I said a couple of times on the phone, is customers that will notice if their water goes cloudy. That's the only thing people can comment on to start with. If you chuck it in and your water turns cloudy, then to me, it wouldn't matter at all. To most dealers, you have some fish in the quarantine pond. It doesn't really matter if the water's like pea soup, because it's doing good for the fish. But for the general hobbyist, it's quite important that they've spent a lot of time and effort getting their pond clear. They don't want the food to foul it up. And I believe with his use of millet for the carbohydrate is a big help with keeping the water nice and clean, because it maintains its form, it's maximum absorption and all of that, so you don't get much crap coming out the other end. Yeah, that's what we hope.
Yeah, millet in itself, looking at what it actually does, I'm surprised. I dare say it's a cost thing, but I'm surprised more people haven't used a millet
Too
in there.
expensive.
There you go, price thing.
Yeah.
Right, but so is the algae extract.
Yeah, that's why nobody uses. I said to him, why didn't people use this before? And he said it's too expensive. There's only a small amount that goes in those bags, and that has pushed the price to the sort of limit, really.
I'm just trying to find a bit that's in the brochure.
I'm super excited to get my hands on this and start trialing it. I really am excited.
I must admit, I mean, I'm like Chris. I've seen foods. I mean, I've done the Dutch Koi show, and it's like Chris says, every other stand there's a different.
Yeah.
You could come back with 10 different types of food from 10 different sort of manufacturers. But this is the only one for a long while, after watching that video with Theo in Japan with the guy behind the RG92, which that really did get my interest going, Chris. Really,
the story there is brilliant.
Yeah. This is the only one that's sort of really tweaked my interest in quite a few years of seeing all these other brands come out and disappear or not do what they promised to do. But no, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's always exciting to have a new product.
Can you not elaborate a little on the backstory that you're...
Well, I might just sound like I'm making it up, because it's quite a strange story.
We're all going to trust you. Look, who would not trust a face like that?
Don't completely take my word for this, because it was a few weeks ago when he told me, but it was the guy who discovered RG92 is this Japanese scientist. He owns a company that makes spirulinas and other algae and things for industry. And he started looking into it because he read a paper about Japanese soldiers in the war healing up faster in these particular spring baths somewhere in the Beppu region where his factory now is. And then he read another paper, and the same was happening to people in spring baths in Italy somewhere. So then in, I think, 2011 or 2012, he employed a doctor from Oxford to come and spend 2 years testing all the different spring ponds. And in the 90-second spring baths, the 90-second spring bath he tested in this Beppu region, he found the RG92 algae, which since they've done experiments and it has proven to reduce inflammation, help with Alzheimer's, loads of things. There's a whole brochure which I'm going to talk to Theo and hopefully get him, ask his permission to release it. But it's a timeline of the RG92 uses, and they sell it for loads of stuff.
So cool.
And then obviously Sakai Fish Farms has been using it for the last 3 years. There's a
We've
little
got a little
interview
video on that, Chris.
Yeah, which we can watch that, because that was very interesting just to see Kotaro big it up and say where we use it and it makes the fish eat more. It's better for their metabolism as such. So yeah, I'm excited about the magic algae. I think it could be good.
I mean, you or Theo kindly give me authority to share that via the social media. It's gone down quite well. There has been questions raised, and like I said, in time I think we'll tell, because it may be a magic ingredient. We don't know, and the only way that we're going to know is if people use it and document it, and so we can see it.
Yes.
But in that video, the doctor that was explaining about the benefits that he's seen in the use of the algae really got me interested, and me being with my detective hat on, I managed to actually find the report that he made reference to online, download it, and just so people are aware, I'll share it. Right, this here, I've got to do it on this screen. This here is the report that they found when they was doing the testing with the flounder. Right, everything. And because AI is so amazing, I mean, let's face it, I ain't no doctor, and that word there on its own, I wouldn't know how to pronounce. Right, all of that bit there. All right, so
like a droxylaxel.
Yeah, there you go. There's always a clever one. Like I said earlier, he's definitely got a better IQ, right? But
No, I made that
AI
up.
is a great tool. So even just asking for a summary by AI, what it's able to do is pick out all of them pieces that are really interesting. And over to the right-hand side here, it goes through what, some of the stuff here, for example, tested twice, right, against flounder. Now, the DNA between flounder and koi are not going to be a million miles apart. And the abilities that it brings, if it's good for humans, good on this flounder, then surely it's got to have some goodness that can be pulled into koi keeping, right? Survival rates massively increased, 96 to 97% increased. The feed conversion rate, which is something that Rick from New Forest talked about in his food trial last year, which again, I don't think people really ever taken on, but the conversion rates was superb. Supplementation increased expression of immune genes, right, up to 2 to 2.5 times within the intestine and kidney, which shows that in itself shows that a fish is basically digesting so much easier without working hard to achieve that. And I suppose when you couple that up with like an LT71 fish meal that is a high quality food and a high protein base to supplement that, them organs work extremely hard to digest it. And if this lowers how much them organs are working, then and that increases the feed rate, then that means that you can increase the amount of vitamin, protein, etc., in them food diets through your fish. And generally, the science says, and science is generally like bang on, that in itself is going to create something. And again, I go fish growth, impact of RG92 on fish growth. Growth promotion observed in 2 studies over 274 and 176 days. So what's that? 36 and 90, 120, 5 months and 10 months. 1 kilogram body weight approximately. Groups reach 1 kilogram body weight approximately 2 months earlier than what they did without it. So, that says to me that if we can bring that into a koi diet, then the mass has got to build on it, right? That's how I read it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's how I read it. But again, I will share this paper for people to look at, or I may just grab some of this information out, some key points, and share that so people can see what this does. But I mean, don't take it from me. I've got a little video from Theo. Who's he talking to in this, Chris?
That's Kotaro Sakai. It's Kentaro Sakai's son.
Right. So again, I'm hoping that you can all hear it, but it's only 3 minutes long. We will disappear off screen, and guys, we will go on mute, so we won't be able to talk to each other. So sit back and just listen to what these guys have to say.
Today we are at Taniguchi Koi Farm, and this journey, this koi trip, is particularly about RG92. The algae product that comes from the Beppu province, where we are going to visit the laboratory and speak to the people. But we knew that several high-end koi breeders were also already using the RG92 in addition to their koi food. And obviously, Marujo is one of them, and it would have been so easy to ask him in front of the camera his experience with RG92. But as I said, that would have been too easy because it's also his name. And yesterday we were at the Sakai fish farm, and everybody into the koi hobby knows that Sakai is perfection. Everything they do is to sublimize the growth, the development of their koi. And it was quite stunning to find out that they are using RG92 as a supplement in their koi food that they give on all of their fish tanks. And the son of Kentaro, Kotaro, he was with us, and well, let him hear what he had to say about it in the next clip. Here with Kotaro's son from the Sakai fish farm, and we saw some beautiful results from the Kohaku and the Sanket.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you use RG92. Can you explain?
So we started using RG92 from last year.
Yes.
And we mix it with the pellet food.
Okay.
And also we mix it to the paste food.
Also do your paste that you make yourself.
Right.
Yes.
And we feed it for any kind of fish, jumbo tosai to big fish.
Yes. And what do you notice? What is the result?
I think fish eating RG92, the growing speed is faster than not using it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that because of their, do you know a reason for that?
I think fish tend to eat more amount of food.
Okay. So interesting. Yeah, that's all I want to ask. And I want to thank you for your good care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So obviously filmed in a fish house, so that was like super noisy.
Noisy.
But when I shared the first video, Saya up North Koi Pond, he made reference to the scientists saying, he's seen it in koi fry really do well. But I think that evidence is in itself that if we've got people like Sakai using it, Maraju using it as an extract in their paste and feeding it to big fish, it obviously brings a benefit as well. So, Si, you're quite right for picking up on that, and well done for noticing that. Was one thing that I picked up on. But again, through discussions, we're finding out this sort of thing it's what's got me excited. Not only LT71 being a great fish meal, and we've seen that in other koi foods and the results it brings, in other koi foods. But when you start adding additional ingredients to it, I can only see that it's going to do a really, really, really good job. I can.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I think I'm really, really looking forward to actually really testing this on some really high-end koi as well. In a good facility that I can actually, plow some food in to see what happens. It's going to be really, really interesting in a nice prolonged time, and see what happens. It's going to be real fun. Yeah, it's going to be good.
So we're going to use the Tozai RG 92 food in 2 ponds. So we'll be able to see. They're going to be in Aoki as well. So I've just got in some 912 Aokis that are not going to be released until they're grown on a little bit. And Chris, just for your benefit, I'm going to be using the Tozai variant food in that pond to see how well they develop.
So that's exactly what we need to do at this stage.
Absolutely, there are some questions that's come in, Chris. All right, I'm just going to highlight one, and you're the person that needs to look at this, I think. So, Koi Cart Scotland, is the food available from multiple retailers? Is it all priced similar like Pedigree do with Saki Akari? So they have the monopoly and control the selling of it. I just want to step in on that. I'll share the pricing in a minute because I'll bring up our website. I believe that both Dave and Lee will also be selling it at the same price. But multiple retailers, Chris, I mean, is this something that's going to be spread far and wide, or?
Yeah, it's going to be strategically spread around the country by retailers that have faith in the product and are prepared to use it and try it and get behind it. I'm not going to offer it to ones that just add it to as another SKU to one of their products and sell it just to make a quick buck sort of thing. I want the product protected and I want it promoted and tested and used. So there will be multiple retailers selling it, but not millions. It's not going to be a all-out priced war. It will be a sensible price across the board, and everybody will be able to promote the product, enjoy the product, and move forward that way. So the answer to the question is multiple retailers will sell it, but not every retailer.
So just to give you an idea in pricing, okay, so on the screen, I'm just going to pick one out, okay. So this is the RG92. Can we see that okay on screen?
Yep.
So the special premium food. We're going to go over these in a second anyway, but this here comes in a 1.2 kilo bag, 5 kilo or 10 kilo, and it's available in both floating and sinking. So you can see there that the 10 kilo is at 155 quid, which, for hopefully, it's going to do the business. And I like the fact that it's not pricing itself out the market. And I actually believe, Chris, that it's where it should be. It's not as expensive as Saki, but it's not too cheap either. Because
if it was cheap, it would have to have no RG92 in it and no of the expensive millet carbohydrate and use cheaper ingredients. We've looked at it, and I said to Theo, can it be any cheaper? Because a new food coming onto the market is a difficult sale. It's a difficult thing. We've been, as you probably know, our flagship food is JPD koi food. We've been selling JPD since I was 16, since Ryuichi first came over to England and signed the deal with Andrew, and we pushed that fiercely, and we use it a lot, and we have great results with it. It's a great fish food from a company that's been making pet foods for 200 years. So it's a yeah, we're fully behind that and thing. But evolution means that new products come out and new ingredients become available and exciting new stuff happens, and we want to be a part of that as well.
LT71 is in one other koi food. Your words was nothing special. There weren't enough known about it, Dan, at the time. And I've just said that Rick, down when he done his fish trial, showed what LT71 is capable of, mate, actually. So I think you'll find that I thought that it done really well with Tozai, mate. Just so you know. On top of that, until you run it against other diets, Rick makes a perfectly valid point here. Until you run it against other diets in identical systems with the same batches of koi, you can quantify actual results. And I totally agree with that. But
that's
I think
a scientific approach, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's something that Rick's very good at. But one thing I will say is that I think you have to go further than just Tozai, because we can see what Tozai do, but then it's what happens after Tozai. When the fish start to mature a little bit, the metabolism starts to change, their need for different ingredients maybe patters off, how it's used in temperature controlled waters or non-temperature controlled waters, which a majority of us in the UK have got, and with a UK climate, especially what we're seeing now. I mean, last week we was up in the 30s, you know, and huge temperature drop off in the night to now struggling to hit 18 degrees in the pond without any heater in there. So, you know, and that's where I think that this koi food does really well. And I will show the next part. You know, when we're looking at the full range, one of them in the blue has been changed to RG92 now. And that was because not everybody would understand Maraju. Is that correct, Chris?
Yes, I think also at the time of Theo making the names up, he didn't realise how special the RG92 was, and he's since we've since decided that I think the RG92 itself is such a special product in its own right. It deserves the title of one of the bags of food, really. So now it's just called RG92 Special, which is, I think is better.
And again, when we start looking at the whole range, and this, what I'll go back to saying is when I looked at LT71 in detail, and protein, and again, I'll go back to a one cut fits all diet is not my cup of tea. It might, you know, especially if you want to achieve things. It's all right on a balance if you just want to just throw things in and just have it squared away, you know, and you're not too worried about doing certain things with your fish, or you're not so heavily involved or invested in your koi. There's not a problem with that. But when you start looking into specialties, I think it's really important that you feed the correct koi, the correct feed for the job that you're trying to achieve. Exactly like you do with athletes and bodybuilders. They all go on set, you know, like nutritional diets, and there's no different to if you're going into showing koi or wanting the best out of your investment. If you're spending lots of money on koi, or if you're growing koi, you want a fish food to do a job. So can you just talk us over a couple of these varieties of feed, Chris? Are you happy to do that?
Yeah. Obviously, so the Tozai is the one that Theo's aimed towards growing small fish. It now includes the RG92 as well, so that could be the perfect combination for small fish, for absorbing the nutrients properly, and for the RG92 where it increases the microbiology in the gut or something, makes the gut basically work faster, so they can get
produce more amino acids, etc.
That's it, yeah. So that'll be the perfect thing for the Tozai. The Miori is the best value one of the range. So it's still made with the high quality millet and some good protein and other things, but it's made to be a more competitively priced food. The manju is the lower temperature one, so it still uses LT71 fish meal, but it's a much lower protein percentage. So it's designed mainly for lower temperatures. The Kigen Kinsai originally was his premium one, so it's 38 and 40% LT71 protein, and that was the all singing, all dancing best one, highest amount that he felt was sensible for the protein, best quality carbohydrates in the millet, and all the other ingredients are the top ones he could source. And then of course the RG92 came along, so he then added the fifth one onto the range in the RG92 special. So that's everything that Kinsai is plus the magic algae. So yeah, that's a complete range, really.
And again, when I said about how much information, this graph alone, well, this table alone, it gives you a real good input into how good each variety achieves. You know, just using a simple dot scale, but also what ingredients are in there, what percentages, etc. Which again, coupled with the brochure, when you can flick back and look at where it fits within a fish diet, I thought was superb. You know, and for me, that was the thing that really got me interested in it. Now, one thing that I was looking at is the LT71 fish meal at Tozai, and how Tozai actually reacts to the LT71 fish meal diet, and the fact that you brought out a lower temp range as well, but more digestible, would also suggest to me that is also a good food to feed to bigger, more mature fish as well. Because what I've seen is with the LT71 in Tozai, when I started to look through, and I found another paper, right, which was produced 3 or 4 years ago, scientifically, signed off by 4 doctors, which looked at ingredients within aquaculture and fish farming across many different types of fish farming. And it looked at LT71 and how fish actually, how they absorb it and how good it is. And one thing that it was good at was at Tozai level was because a Tozai sort of works in an explosive growth, because obviously they need to get big quick because, you know, obviously they're on the end of everyone's food chain. So getting big quick is in his genetics. The absorption from that food and creating that. And I think that we've seen that with food trials that have been done down in New Forest with that fish meal alone. Couple that with RG92 in Tozai, and, you know, just looking at what that can do. And I really want people to look at the RG42 stuff. And when you couple them together, again, I'm excited to see what the results do.
I think the interesting thing that Sakai said was that he's feeding it across the whole range of his fish, not just
the big
Tozai
fish as well.
But I was just looking at LT71 in Tozai and how big, because when you feed it properly and you start to get further in, when you look at the additional ingredients that he's put in there, the amount of thought that's gone into how the digestibility of that food, so it's not wasted or creating problems, because the additional ingredients that couple that really does complement what the LT71 does. And that for me was so important, especially knowing what I've looked at. You know, well, I mean, when are we likely to see this, Chris? Because we're coming up to
10 days. I hope about 10 days. So that's just before the national, really. So we were aiming for a proper launch at the national. So we'll have it just before then and dish a bit of it out and get it round. But to anybody watching, I will stress, if you're coming to the national, the Great British, or the All England, Theo is going to be there talking. He'll have the brochures to show you, and if you've got any questions, doubts, or anything, he's put so much time and effort and care into the development and production of this food. I'm sure it would be a pleasure for him to answer them, and he would embrace that. So do that.
Again,
and again, sorry, Crafty, to jump in here. And again, I mean, everyone watching is pretty keen to know: is there a free pond bomb with every sack from Perfect Aquatics?
I know something like that was going to come in. There are some questions being brought out. Colin Holland asked, in the RG92 food, why are the compositions different from sinking and floating? Have you got any idea on that, Chris?
I have no idea on that, I'll be honest.
But what we can do is we can take these back to Theo.
Yeah, definitely.
And then get some feedback on them. Also, someone called Man V7N2K is obviously a robot. I'm joking, by the way. The brochure states enzymes. However, this is not listed in the composition as zootechnical additive. Why is there a discrepancy between the brochure and the composition? Again, I think that we will take that back to Theo because it may be an oversight or something that he needs to look at. Price, again, in my opinion, Mon the Fish asks, can you get this in 3mm pellet? Yes, I believe the Tozai variant is 3mm.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the one I had in my hand just now. It's 3mm.
Does the
hang on, look at this one. So, someone from Dutchland. I've been
great.
feeding the Marajou special for the last 1.5 months. Love it so far.
So far.
Well, it's been out in
that's
Europe for a few months already, hasn't it?
Yes.
Seabay from Koi Page 2000, the gentleman that was on our second show, is also documenting it. He's been using it for 3 months now, I think.
Yeah. He's the guy who introduced it to me.
Yeah, guys, I would urge you all. I'll share this brochure on the site. Share it with your friends as well so they can see it. Right, look at it, and you do your own analysis. I mean,
yeah.
You know, people are going to say, as a dealer, I want to sell this food, right? I will go back to what I said when other food's been released in the past. We don't know what it's going to do. We haven't got a crystal ball, all right? But one thing we can do is look at what's been produced, what the science says, and let's see if that is actually transferred into what our fish do, because ultimately the results do the talking, right?
Yeah. Yes, the proof is in the pudding, but everything else is always beefed up with science to make people confident in a product, whether it's a fish food or anything. Science backs everything. So you can start with a little bit of confidence, having read that brochure and looked at the reasoning behind the ingredients and the science behind it. It gives you a good start. I'm not saying it's definitely going to be the best thing since sliced bread, because, as we said, until you've tried it and used it and tested it, it would be silly to say that. So it's exciting.
And to be honest, obviously, you know, I do at least one video every week from this facility. So from probably a couple of weeks' time, we'll see what the food can do live, week by week, in the pond behind me. So, I mean, it's going to be a current thing that everyone can tune in and watch anyway, which is going to be fun. And another thing, Chris, I mean, is there a lot of stock coming out? Because I think if people want this food, it might fly off the shelves. I don't know. Have you got quite a few containers coming over?
Well, with any new product, it's completely impossible to guess what you need to order, isn't
it? Gauge,
you've got,
of course.
If there was just one product, one bag or 2 bags, that would be easy. You just order a whole load.
The full range is coming over.
But there's a whole range, and some are going to be more popular than the others. I haven't ordered much of the low temperature stuff yet, because it's the middle of the
wrong time of year. Perfect.
But I've ordered a fair chunk of all the others. So I think we've ordered enough. Might be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see. But as long as everyone's stocked up for the national, so people, if they want to get on board and try it, then they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine as well.
So get through the doors on the Saturday in the national and run to the nearest dealer and buy it.
I don't think it's going to be gold rush, but be nice for some people to
get behind it,
have a go at it and get excited about it, because things like that make the industry exciting. New exciting stuff makes
And
the
another
industry
thing,
exciting.
if somebody does want to go onto it and try it, just give it time, because
Yes,
switching
Patience.
foods is always going to be
yeah,
a
I think that's
period of
what's
time with each fish. You've got to get used to it, and you might see certain characteristics of that food that will disappear after a while once they get used to it. That's
what Seba said that last week, didn't he? He was talking about how sometimes you feed a new food and they're like, oh, my fish don't like it because they've got used to FD or they've got used to something.
Or you experience a bit more waste or a bit of this or something. But that's inevitable when you switch over from one food to another. You're always going to get that, no matter what food you go to or from. You're going to get this this difference for a little while. So
yeah. So
Right,
all in all,
and there you go. So someone's already starting to do the math. Saki grow £13 per kilo, RG92 15.5 per kilo. That doesn't add up. It does. When you look at the range, mate, you've got to look at the range. RG92 is not cheap, otherwise everyone would be using it, right? And millet is not cheap, otherwise everyone would be using it.
Saki growth's not cheap, or everybody be using it.
You know, and it depends where you're buying from as well.
Yeah.
Yes, on top of that, we know sake is the best food out there. It's tried, tested, right? But what if this food does something that sake doesn't? Right? What if? That's what you got to ask yourself. If you're getting better skin, you're getting better health, healthier koi, right? You know, they give you less problems. It's simple, you know.
I think
that's what we'll aim to achieve.
The trouble is sometimes new products come on the market not to be cheaper, but to be as good or hopefully better than something. So everybody's automatically going, it doesn't work. It's got to be cheaper. That's not.
But it's also not shouting to be as good as sake, right? He's saying, look, this is what we've done.
Yeah.
This is This is all the info and everything that we've put into this to create this product. We've been totally transparent with it. Yeah. There's the info. There's the food. Put it in your pond. Follow the guidelines. Because the other thing is that's quite good. It's got a feeding guideline for every single range as well.
But doesn't everything in life, as it evolves and gets better and better ingredients or parts, gets more expensive?
It does. You want the best, you've got to pay for it, anyhow. Simple. You know?
And to be honest, if you look in the range as well, is it the Kinsai? That's very compatible to a lot of foods for that price. Is it not the Kinsai? Which one is the one?
Miori, I think, the pale blue one.
Yeah, that's right.
So how much is that a kilo? That's probably a lot cheaper. That's probably under sake per kilo.
£9.50 a kilo, isn't it?
£9.50. There we are. Yeah. So
So,
but really, if somebody's trying a new koi food with the very best ingredients and the most expensive ingredients, and that all boils down to price, they should just pick something else. I think if price is the be all and end all, obviously price is important, but
so I think you're approaching this from the complete wrong angle.
Yeah.
Everything has got a cost. Everything, right? And if the ingredients are expensive, I mean, I have to take certain additives for my arthritis, right? They ain't cheap, right? But if I don't take them, I don't feel good. It's simple. So at the end of the day, you put an additive into something and you see a result for it, you're paying for for when it's being made, it comes at a cost. When it's all put together, it comes at a cost. You know, as the consumer, you've got to pay for it.
It's like
sake
a lot
sake may be proven. This food isn't. It hasn't been given a chance yet. So if we jump into conclusions about the fact that it shouldn't be as dear, well, number one, you don't know how much sake costs to put together. Number two, you don't know how much this stuff gets put together. But what if this food does something that sake doesn't? Then sake's got a problem. Do you think sake are going to sit back on that? Absolutely not. They will look at what they're doing and they will look to improve their recipe. It's competition, and that's why competition.
That's right. Yeah, interesting.
So
that's all exciting times, I think. But we will see.
I think it's like everything. everything's not meant for everybody.
No.
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 There's a food for everybody. Yeah, that's true.
If any of you are looking to bring this into your feeding regime, tip would be mix it with your current food.
Yeah.
All right. Wean the fish into it. Don't just go straight guns blazing with a new food. All right. It's easier to wean the fish on than what it is just to introduce them to a complete new diet. All right. You know, just as a little tip for you. So,
and we're going to be using it on 2 of our off-site ponds. So I will give an honest opinion as well as to how we found it once we get.
but the thing is, if we don't see results, we're not going to sell it, right?
No.
You know, we'll send
Same.
it back. Simple as that. You know.
Yeah.
Alan Tate has said that he's out and about tomorrow, so he's going to see some of you. So I dare say, Dave, Chris, he'll be around yours.
He's coming to Norfolk. Cool.
Well, he said he's out and he'll see some of
Chris,
you. Whether you're talking to the guys that are watching.
Have you signed the pass for him to come? I haven't.
No, I don't. Can he understand what we talk about?
No, I mean he'll never
I
get.
was going to mention how funny you two sound tonight because you have got funny voices, haven't you?
He'll never
No,
get past the
really?
border.
A
Yeah.
nosebleed.
You know when he's near anyway. He smells of mothballs these days. And Werther's originals.
And
dear.
you have a
Poor
look at
Alan.
his. If you look at his car, mate, he's got a packet of Foxy Glacier mints.
And a Zimmer frame in the boot just in case he needs it.
He has got a walking frame, bless him. He is getting there. But right, we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Again, guys, we peaked at 200 viewers,
Great.
which is absolutely outstanding. And again, I hope you're enjoying this sort of content. Please tune in again. If there's anything, like I said last time, you want to see, put the ideas across. We'll see what we can muster up for you. We will show our results. Chris, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Would you like
thanks,
to come
Chris.
back on it another time? I'll tell you why you're live on now. So I've got it recorded then.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's always good stuff to talk about.
Excellent. Next week. What have we got on next week? Who have we got on next week?
Yeah.
Dave, over to you.
We
Miley Cyrus, isn't it?
Holy Cyrus.
Yeah, next week we've got club chairman and very, very good hobbyist Steve Rollings joining us from the Crouch Valley.
Oh, that'll be good.
So you know him very well, don't you, Chris?
Yeah. We know him, the Crouch Valley, and all of them for many years. Yeah.
Yeah, a good bunch of lads there. Very nice. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting Mr. Steve Rollins.
Well, he'll be very good because obviously he's done a lot in Japan. He's been to Japan many times. He's shown in Japan. He's had experience of Azakari koi going good, going bad. So I think it'll be a good hobbyist perspective on what insight to what it's like, the ups and downs of going to Japan and buying koi, along with obviously running the koi show. He's show chairman, so it'll be an insight to what goes into that exactly. So yeah, I think that'll be good. So looking forward to seeing Steve.
Yeah, they're such a good koi club, that Crouch Valley. There used to be
Absolutely.
loads of
One of the best, actually.
Yeah, there used to be loads of koi clubs like that, but now they're one of the only ones that are still like a really good buzz and a good
Well,
vibe.
they all seem to fragment eventually with in-house fighting and everything. And this one, they all seem very, very friendly. I find them absolutely fabulous bunch of guys and girls.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Steve,
Good.
I will be looking to get some information off you about conditioning fish for shows. So, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, my friend.
Yeah.
Right, that's us done because I think we've put a good shift in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Chris, thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully, you'll join us again soon.
I've seen about 10 days, Chris, when I come over to pick the first lot up.
Yeah, of course. All right, great to chat anyway, and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Have a good evening, guys. Lee, I love you.
I love you too.